Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. So every year, people throughout the community gather together to celebrate Puerto Rican and Latino culture at the Loisaida Festival. And through music, dance, and the arts, people are able to participate in a cultural experience that uplifts the Lower East Side community. And joining us to tell us more about the festival, we welcome Loisaida Festival Operations Manager Alejandro Torres and poet prophet from Abrazos Army. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi.
Welcome. And welcome back, Prophet. Is profit or not for profit?
All of those things.
Oh, so you're all of them. You're all of them.
And a lot
yeah.
more, yeah.
I feel you. I always feel what you stand for. Yeah, you're quite the profound individual, which we're going to get a taste of you a little later. But I want to talk to Alejandro a little bit about this year's theme, right? Because Loisaida has an annual theme. And I noticed that in this year's flyer, there's a lot of branches and greens and gardens. Is that because we're bringing some attention to Mother Earth?
Yes, we are. And every year there's a theme chosen and the posters designed around that theme. Thank you for having us, by the way. It's a pleasure to be here. The festival is Sunday, May 26th. It's every Sunday before Memorial Day. So you can't really miss that. It's the biggest Latinx heritage celebration in the Lower East Side. Loisaida, it's a very proud neighborhood, and we celebrate our roots, and we have branched out as part of the Loisaida Community Center into technology, and that's why you see that that theme
The
around
image,
the
right? The
poster.
theme of the flyer has like branches and gardens. It just reminded me of like our roots, but it also loaned itself to just becoming more health conscious and just vegetarian. Everybody's a vegan nowadays. I'm not saying that's what the festival is about, but just it just loans itself to today's messaging.
Right. Also, we will be premiering this year a new zone, which is centered around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, mixed art into it. This zone will be located between 6th and 7th Street. The festival runs from 12th Street down to 6th Street on Avenue C. And it's from 12 to 5. The festival has different zones. We try to focus on healthy living, wellness, of course. There's a big artisan participation, artesanos with original work, and lots of food, lots of different food, and also this year technology.
I'll tell you this much, all right? I visited it almost every year, and it takes me the entire 5 hours just to get from 12th to 6th Street because of everything that's out there and all the amazing, amazing artisans' work that is up for sale. Because the one thing about that festival is that the items that you can purchase there are items that no one else will have. And I love that. I love buying items that are unique and individualized and just have an artist's energy on it. And definitely you're going to get a lot of that walking through that festival.
And of course, something that no one else has is the talent that we present on the main stage. That's where Prophet and Abrazos Army comes in as part of the talent this year.
And so, yeah, that's a nice segue into
yes.
Mr. Prophet himself. And so now you're part of Abrazos Army, right? How long have you been with them? Well, let's talk a little bit about you. We've presented you here on Open. Your work, as I mentioned in our opening, is very profound. You're definitely a stand for social justice. And so I'm going to assume Abrazos Army falls in that category as well.
Yeah,
so tell us a little bit about this new merger.
We've been around for about a year as Abrazos Army, and kind of trying to link all aspects of the art and music and culture that our people have created, but in many cases has been stripped from us. So our Abrazos Army is a combination of salsa and hip hop and even punk rock, and it's everything that we've had a part of, but a lot of people don't know it. I think for me, being this year performing at the Loisaida Festival becomes really important because I think our people, and I'm talking about New Yorkers, have been removed and pushed out of every community we've lived in. And that's been my experience. I've lived in the Lower East Side. I lived in the El Barrio, East Harlem. I currently live in the Bronx. And I've just seen a trajectory of New Yorkers being pushed out of everywhere we are, and right now we're being pushed out of Puerto Rico, in fact. So I think it's important to talk about who named Loisaida, and why, and who are those people that were there and we're still here and we're still fighting to stay here, you know. And it's funny too because we're playing the main stage, which I'm really happy about. And some of the other bands, there's a Cuban charanga band playing, there's a plena band playing. So these are all we're bringing all these elements of who we are, and creating an understanding, you know, worldwide, universally, that here we are and here's what we do, and we're not going nowhere.
Right. I love that. I love that about him. You know, you're very clever in the way you're educating people, and you do it with such enrollment, right? There's his way, his style. He's got swag. That's what it is, Prophet. You got swag. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to soup him up here on air because it's true.
Yes.
You know, because it's one thing to go and to preach, and if you're preaching on deaf ears, then, you know, you're just preaching. But if you're coming in through certain angles of just kind of saying, you know, I'm going to plant that seed so that you remember that, because at the end of the day, we got to pass it on to the next generation. And how do you enroll them? Through music, through dance, through hip-hop. Right?
Yeah, and the Loisaida Festival is all about celebrating that history, that New Yorican history, those roots, the salsa roots, the musical roots, the charanga group, which is playing its Son del Monte, an amazing group of folks that have been doing this for a long time. Really, really strong main stage this year. And also, I want to mention that there's a part of the festival that's also concentrated on theater and street theater and performance. So many things happening. It's, like you said, hard to choose what to see first, what to see second.
And also the life-size puppets. Let's not forget about
the opening
the larger
parade.
than life-size puppets.
Yes, exactly. We open the festival every year at 11:30, actually, a little before the main stage begins, with a community parade. And this parade basically is built out of free workshops that we provide to the community, and from the community these puppets come out, and they're basically kicking off the celebration for the day.
Lovely. It's a family affair, and it's celebrated by multicultural individuals, even though it's a celebration of Puerto Rico.
True.
Right. And so where can people attend these workshops before we go? Because Loisaida Inc. is a separate entity from the festival that is the largest sponsor of the festival.
Right. Well, we are the producers of the Loisaida Festival. Now that you mentioned the sponsors, I have to thank our presenting sponsor, Banco Popular. They always come in, they always support. And all of our other sponsors, we really couldn't make it without them. Loisaida Inc., it's a nonprofit organization, and we are located right there on Avenue C and 9th Street. You can visit loisaida.org, loisaida.org, to know more about what we do and also register for these workshops.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you, Rhina.
All right, Prophet, you're going to perform for us, right?
Cool.
All right. You guys, we had to take a quick break, but when we return, Prophet from Abrazos Army is going to give us a taste of what's in store for the anticipated Loisaida Festival. So don't go anywhere.